Good evening all, this is the Chelsea Football Fancast. I am Stamford Chidge and this is Sophie Rose.
Hi.
And the lovely people when we go to the wide shot are going to be Dr Mart, Charlie Skillen, the lovely Felipe from Brazil, and my mate and benefactor and general sponsor for matchday tickets, Mr Dan Silver. I should be sitting next to Dan tomorrow night giving it large. Isn't that right, Dan?
Absolutely.
I was going to say where I'm sitting there, but I can't.
Where are you sitting?
No, I'm not going to say. just
You'll
in
be
case.
there. won't
Yeah,
you?
I'll be
You'll
there.
You'll be there.
I'll be there.
Now, look, just before we went to the break, you were in full flow and I had to stop you. So you want to carry on where you left off?
What was I saying, Charlie? It's completely gone from my mind.
You were saying about the squad depth.
Oh, I was saying, yes, this is it. I think now, to be honest, it's too late to change our B team. We can't suddenly get 6 different players in. So they are going to have to seriously work on themselves, not just Jose telling them what to do. They're going to need to seriously work on themselves to sort it out. And they need to be players that come on. Drogba, Remy, Ramirez, to be honest, I think are all players that, yeah, you're not going to make 9 changes to the team, but they can come on. They just need, you know...
You know what? I've heard a little bit of a rumbling. Sorry to cut across you, Charlie. I've heard a little bit of a rumbling that a lot of the B players, the players who are not getting a game regularly, are getting a bit chuffed because they're not getting game time. And actually, it occurred to me, like I said, that point with Drogba, you can actually apply to quite a lot of them. If you don't play for 2 or 3 months, you suddenly get called upon. It's hard. It's hard. Charlie, just answer that one.
Tough. I think I've said on the show before, Chelsea are not in a position to give players runs in the side. If you're not in that first 11, when you do come in, we've seen it in games this season. Like Shrewsbury and Sporting Lisbon, and games like that. We've seen it. And Schürrle and Salah have come in, and they've not taken that opportunity. So it's just tough.
But can I just say, I know it's tough for players to come on after they haven't been playing for 3 months or whatever, but I bet you any money, every single one of those players that came out onto that pitch thought we'll win this easily.
Oh, totally.
No matter what. There wasn't any fight or thinking, right, I have to perform really well. They thought, yeah, I've got to prove myself, but we're going to win this anyway. That is 50% of the reason we lost.
It was awful. And Sophie says you can't change the B team, but you can certainly change those options. In this month, of course, we'd report, Cuadrado seems quite close, and if not Cuadrado, then this Douglas Costa. That should.
Are we just on some mission to buy every player in the world who's called Costa?
Costa, yeah.
I wasn't a Costa fan when he first came as well. And I just have to say that I do really love you.
Would you?
I do really love you.
I don't think it's every player called Costa. I think just the one's called D Costa.
D Costa.
Felipe, this is your first match back at the Bridge for a long time. And I remember you saying to me before at the CFC UK stall that you were wearing a top which you last wore when Brazil, your home country, in the World Cup finals, you wore that to Brazil versus Germany. Yeah. And you said to me, oh, Chidge, I'm really worried that I'm wearing this top because it's probably bad luck. And I said, no, it'll be fine. So basically what I'm really saying is, Felipe, it's all your fault. Is that true?
Yeah, it's my fault. I'm bad luck.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
Tomorrow, relax.
Are you coming tomorrow?
No.
Okay, good. Right.
I'll be away from the bridge.
Right.
I'm not having that. I wore my previously undefiled Chelsea 2009 Cup final shirt. That's the first match that shirt's lost as well.
That's the yellow one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Can I ask? I want to ask a question here.
Who to?
If we had if we'd had Costa at Bradford, do you think he would have made a difference?
Yeah, of course, massively.
Because I asked everyone after that, and I said, look, I thought from watching it, we missed Costa because I know how bad the team was, but I reckon if he was there, it would have been.
He'd scored the one that Zuma missed. Only Torres would have missed that.
I think we. In fact, I'll go as far as to say we'd probably be looking out for a FA Cup draw right now.
Yeah.
If Costa was
we'd be playing Fulham, in fact.
He would have pulled that defence.
But it's not just because he's good. It's because he would be trying his hardest. He wouldn't be thinking this is an easy game. He just goes for it.
He'd be playing others into the side, definitely. But having said that, we had a tough game. On Tuesday we've got a terribly tough game.
Talk about that later.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Probably the most important game of the rest of the season on Saturday. Costa, Hazard, anyone else is so influential to us. They cannot play every game.
I think. Do you know what, Charlie? I mean, before we put a line under that, I think actually the 2 biggest misses were Terry and Matic.
Yeah,
Leadership.
I'd agree with that.
Spine.
I'd agree with that.
Spine.
Yeah.
Spine. Well done,
Yeah.
Dan.
I'd agree with
All
that.
right, okay. I know you've all been waiting. Sorry, Dan. Go on.
I was just make a point. I was saying if we beat Liverpool, we beat City, then suddenly it's not been a bad week, and we knew we're not going to win all 4, so something had to go by the wayside.
Okay, I think that's a good point. Now, we've been waiting for this. This is going to cause a bit of conjecture, I know, but what I want to know is this the biggest FA Cup shock defeat, worst defeat in Chelsea's history?
Yes.
I'd be very interested to hear what you will say, because I've got some really good figures, which I'm now going to hide from you so you can't see.
The football only began in 1992, don't it?
Actually, okay, I'll give you a shout. I could only go back as far as 86. Because that's all the data I could find quickly in the time that I had. But actually, that's quite a good barometer, because in the years between about 74 and 86, we were pretty crap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So my figures go back that far. But Sophie first, is this the biggest worst FA Cup defeat in your lifetime? So
Yes.
the last 10 years then?
Yes, because, okay, I'm going to be careful about how I word this. Bradford were really good. I have to say, I thought their performance was really good. However, I feel it's the worst because of how poorly I've watched my team play.
Okay,
not
just
because
from
of
a
the
performance
result.
point of view.
Not because
That's
of the
interesting.
result, because of the performance. It was really, really, really upsetting, to be honest, to see
Okay,
that
that's interesting.
that happened.
Charlie?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think being at home, our respective
At home,
positions, you know, we are top of the league, as we'd like to sing, and Bradford's, third tier side. Chelsea being 2-0 up as well, and the general performance, like Soph says, I think it's certainly the worst one in my lifetime. I think, was it Shrewsbury or Rotherham that we got done over by in the 80s.
Do you want, well, I can give you a little bit of this. I've picked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. Okay, 3 of them from the FA Cup.
Yeah.
2 of them from the League Cup. I shall tell you those after I've heard what you have to say. Martin, is it the worst FA Cup defeat?
Leighton Orient it was around about 76 or 77, I think.
Yeah, but I
can't remember if it was League Cup or FA Cup.
We were
but
poor
we
then.
lost 2-1, and they scored all the goals.
Yeah, that was Leighton, wasn't it? Yeah. But we weren't very good then. I mean, and I think
You said ever.
Okay. Yeah, but Charlie's down the right channel here because I think it is. Okay, I'll fess. Well,
Where's
well, I'll tell you why I think he's right. Okay, because number one, we were at home. Okay, I shall now reveal. Because
there's another Northern team beginning with B as well, isn't there?
Right. These are I think our worst FA Cup defeats. And when I judge it on where we played and where we were relative to them. In 1990, we lost away to Bristol City 3-1. All right? They were in Division 3. We were in Division 1. In fact, we finished 5th that year, believe it or not.
Just got promoted.
Yeah. In 19... we actually also lost to Barnsley.
I said Northern team beginning with B.
my dad said that as well.
4-1 in 1988 or 89.
Not a Yorkshire team.
But either way, we got a bit of a stuffing from Barnsley. But actually, they were in the 2nd division then, and we were in mid-table in the 1st. So the gap, and we were away, and it's horrible playing at Oakwell Park. So the difference wasn't massive. I think the Bristol City one was a shocker. We were actually decent then, and they were in Division 3, I think. I think this is even more horrific in many respects. We lost to Huddersfield at home 1-0 in 1999. Yeah. Now, OK, they were in Division 1, or the Championship, so they weren't bad. That's Steve Bruce was the manager then. But that was Vialli's team. We were in the Champions League that year. So that's a bit rocky. I think there are 2 others that a lot of people might remember, but these were League Cup. And I think, we're talking FA Cup here, but just for sake of argument, we lost 6-3 on aggregate to Scunthorpe away in 88-89. They were in Division 4, we were in Division 2. And of course, we got promoted that year and came up first. And this is the one, John Fleming, actually, who I was getting very battered with on Saturday Night in the Rose. He mentioned this as well. But we lost away to Scarborough 3-2 in 89-90 in the League Cup. And we were, of course, in Division 1 and ended up doing quite well that year. And they were in Division 4. So that's pretty horrific. But as Charlie said, hang on, Soph, in view of the fact that 1, we were at home, 2, we're top of the league, one of the best, biggest clubs in Europe now. 3, we've got Jose Mourinho as the manager. I think you take all of those things into consideration and you look at the fact that Bradford are in Division 3, or the 3rd division, call it however you will. For me, it has to be the worst FA Cup defeat.
I'd like to know how many of those matches were actually made 9 changes before the game.
I don't know, Mark. Amazingly enough,
I don't know
I
either.
don't know that.
But it's not usual, is it, to do that?
Yeah.
I'm
And
not-
I think
I'm-
that was I'm sorry, that was a mistake by Mourinho.
Yeah, I know, but we're not talking about that.
just-
We're talking about, was this the worst, most embarrassing FA Cup defeat? I think so. Charlie thinks so. You think so? Yeah?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's down to the players and not doing something.
No, I'm not blaming
No,
Jose.
I
I'm just
disagree.
saying that if you
No, I
consider
know
that
it's
Jose was
under
the
him and
manager,
everything. I know it's under him, but they
you know,
they
this
owe
is
him
a
an
guy who does not lose.
I know,
matches
but
like
do you
this.
know what? They owe him an apology because every single one of
do.
them came out and they said they just thought, oh yeah, we're definitely going to win this. And no, every single match you play, if you want to be in Jose's team, every single match you play, like when Hazard and Matic play and Terry play, they know. No matter who you're playing, you need to put in your best performance,
Right.
and that's the end of it.
Felipe and Dan, what do you, is it the worst for you guys?
Personally, yes, I think quite possibly one of the biggest shocks in the FA Cup history, not just for Chelsea.
Wow.
Given the respective positions, I think we lost to Barnsley, I think under Avram Grant as well.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah.
For me, that never really counted
No,
because
I just think
we had
it was
Grant in
Grant.
charge.
If I can make a second point, since '97 we've had a phenomenal run in the FA Cup. We've won it 6 times, 2 semi-finals, lost a final. It was on the cards. There's going to have to be a banana skin at some point. But I think personally, probably the worst defeat in my entire life going to Chelsea.
Well,
Not just
and
FA
we're
Cup.
at home. We're unbeaten at
Yeah.
home this season.
No
Mourinho's
excuses.
manager. It's almost unthinkable
It's
that we
poor,
could do
I should
that.
say.
Poor, as
Yeah.
Jonathan would say. Felipe, I would imagine
Poor.
it's probably the worst in your experience of supporting Chelsea.
Yeah, it was worse. And it felt like I was watching the Brazilian league, you know.
Oh, no. Of course, you're still rebounding from the effects of being beaten by Germany 7-1, I expect.
Yeah.
not that I wanted to remind you of that in any way.
Well, I mean, look, it is the FA Cup, and I think the fact that City and Tottenham lost, that this cup is full of surprises, and yeah, I know our performance was
The
horrendous.
magic of the cup, Soph.
But I think it's a wake-up call to all teams that the lower league teams, I don't care whether they're in the conference, they are going to give it a go.
You know what we should say, Sophie, though? I mean, we should absolutely, and I mean, I did this on the radio in the LBC interview afterwards, but we should be saying fair play to Bradford. I thought it was
Absolutely.
a
There's nothing away from Bradford. They're brilliant.
superb performance. I thought they defended brilliantly. I thought their finishing was superb. I mean, every single one of those
Some
goals
of-
was a
That
cracker.
goal at the end of the first half was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Last goal.
What a
John
hit
Stead,
that was.
yeah.
What a
Unbelievable.
hit.
Game of his life.
I mean, I actually thought Czech was a bit at fault for that, and I saw it on the replay, and I thought,
Possibly.
actually, you know what? He had no chance with that. I thought their tactics were brilliant. I thought Parkinson, is it Michael Parkinson? He's a big fan. Sorry, Phil Parkinson did a great job. And the other thing we should absolutely commend, I thought their fans were, look at that, let's look at that picture. They
Their
were
fans were great, yeah, they were good.
absolutely superb.
Total respect for them.
You know, they I mean, you know, I
Very nice
actually,
after the game.
I
but
actually,
They were very friendly after the
I
game,
actually
weren't they?
felt, I don't know about you lot, I felt a bit envious watching them because, you know, we've had probably more big nights where it's been mental in the last 10 years than I would have ever believed in the previous 10. I accept that. We've had nights like this. But there must be something, what we haven't had is one of those nights when we were absolutely rubbish and expected to get absolutely tonked. Not even at Munich, you know.
Barcelona.
We have no, because we were still one amongst the elite teams. You know, we had more than a or whatever it is chant. You know, what's that expression?
Fighting chance.
Fighters, punchers chance. You know, we had more than that because we are a good team. We deserve to be there. We haven't had that situation. We've been like a third division team knocking out one of the best teams in the world, and that is unbelievably special. Like we did Liverpool when they were
82.
European champions.
82, yeah.
Well, we used to back in the 70s.
Yeah, but we haven't had
Early
that, and
80s.
I was a bit envious of them. But they were brilliant. So there you go. Would you agree? They deserve a round of applause.
Absolutely agree with that. I can't agree with Sophie though that it was all the players' fault and Mourinho was innocent.
Is Jose innocent?
I don't think he is.
You know what Malcolm
I think he
McLaren
shares
says.
the blame. with
You know
all
what
of them.
Malcolm? No one is innocent.
Collective responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, collective
But
responsibility.
what was I going to say
I
on
don't know,
this?
Soph. What were you going to say?
Bradford, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I felt like when I was watching Bradford that they were Chelsea, especially the last goal. I thought that's something that we would do.
Yeah.
So I just...
No, they were
was-
brilliant.
I don't
Well,
really
it was like
count the
watching,
last
it was like
goal,
watching the opposite
Oh, no,
side.
no, it's my
Oh.
phone going.
Twice in
I don't
2
really
weeks.
count.
Twice in 2 weeks. That is.
I don't really
Fired.
count the last goal because
Fired
don't forget
pitch.
we had one of our central defenders playing up front at that point.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So it was always
Look,
going to happen.
Well, I mean, they cut through us like knife through butter. Their counter-attacking was fantastic. Killed us on the break when we had no organisation whatsoever.
Listen, I must just talk about the Bradford fans. I must tell you about this because this is great. I was in the pub afterwards with Cundy. Jason Cundy met me for drinking the Rose pub afterwards. So I'm sitting here, Cundy's sitting there, and all of our mates around them having a few drinks, and these very drunk Bradford fans. You got a picture of them. I didn't even get their names actually. Have you got the picture of the Bradford fans? There you go. Those look at them.
They've had a good day,
they are well happy.
They've had a
the
good
one on
day.
the left, the one on the left, he comes up to me, and he says, you back to me, otherwise the impression doesn't work. Off the phone, thank you. He says, oi, mate, I heard you on radio earlier and you were being really good about Bradford and really being really good about Bradford. I thought it's fun. I just wanted to say that you were brilliant on TalkSport and it's a real pleasure to meet you, Jason Cundy. I've got Cundy sitting next to me and he thought I was Cundy's face. And we just absolutely lost it. And then everybody around the table were saying, 2 Jason Cundys, there's only 2 Jason Cundys. But it was absolutely... But I thought he meant me, because I'd just been on the radio, and I was actually being really nice about Bradford. I thought they deserved it. But that was, if that had been the celery moment this week, it would have been a shame, but that was very funny. There are some positives to take out of this, Smart.
What are
Yeah,
there?
the
really
Bradford
are.
fans I thought were really good blokes. When I told them my granddad went to Bradford Grammar School before it was Bradford Grammar School, they were really impressed with that.
No, but there are some positives to take from a Chelsea point of view, I think. I think the fact that we've got less games to play now, and they actually fall before both legs of the PSG game.
It saved us 4 games.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean?
To be honest, if we had to choose, a cup to miss, it would be in the FA Cup or the League Cup. Still got a chance to win the league, still got a chance in the Champions League, and still got the League Cup.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Dan. I'd much rather be in the FA Cup.
Totally.
But I mean, there is a positive to take out for it. It means that we won't be as knackered before we play PSG. And frankly, you know what, mate?
Must-win.
Would you rather win the FA Cup or the Champions League, Dan?
Champions League all
Well,
day.
there
every
you
day.
go. I think the other thing that was really nice, actually, was I thought Jose's... You mentioned this a minute ago, but Jose's behaviour after the match was super. I mean, I know the handshake was a bit naughty, but he went into the dressing room, the Bradford dressing room, and well, it's probably because some pillock phoned me up, isn't it? Sorry, I'm having a chat with the gallery. I shouldn't do that. I don't quite know how to deal with that, actually. Stop my phone. No, it should be fine. Tell him to refresh. It's working on here as far as I'm aware. Yeah, all right. It's because somebody phoned my phone. Go away! Don't you know I'm doing a show?
I'm working.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Jose. I mean, he was incredibly magnanimous after the match, and he went into the dressing room and he shook all the players' hands and he congratulated. You're not buying this, Charlie.
I'm not buying it.
A lot of the press found negatives in that.
What?
Just doesn't cheer me up.
Okay, all right. Well, what about the £25,000 donation to the Bradford Hospital Burns Unit, which I thought was a very nice
Good
touch.
gesture.
Yeah, nice touch.
You know?
And I'm so glad we
good.
didn't sing "There Is a Fire Drill" song. That would have been very rude.
No.
And we didn't say. And we haven't at all. No, you can't say that, Martin.
No,
I
that's
told
what I
you
said. I
this
was glad we
in
didn't.
the pub on Saturday. No, not even. On a scale of 1 to 10 of Chidge saying really out of order things, that would be off the Richter scale.
That's why I said it, but not glad we didn't
I'm not
say
even,
it.
No, shut up. I'm not even giving it any more airtime or credence. Be careful how I say that. But anyway, I thought the other thing was actually, fair play to us. I mean, normally we were quite a miserable bunch of Herberts after a match, but I thought we were very good with the Bradford fans after, and they've recognised that. You don't care either.
I was just fuming on it.
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
the
they
best
were
behaved
fun.
supporters
Maybe I
when we
got
win.
Well, there you go.
We're the best behaved supporters when we win.
Great day for them. It's what the magic of the cup's all about, but doesn't.
Okay.
No, it's not really kept me warm at night.
Okay.
I've
So
got to admit.
Okay, Charlie. What has cheered you up since Saturday then?
Meeting Didier Drogba last
Meeting
night.
Didier Drogba.
That was good.
Okay. I'm wondering if we've got enough time for Sophie's dream. Try. No. We'll do it later. We haven't got enough time.
It's in Sophie's choice. You still got to get your.
we'll do it in Sophie's choice.
Your guesses in.
Okay. Who wants the final, very quick word on the Bradford-Chelsea game?
Horrendous.
That's one word.
Onwards, upwards, don't look back.
Yeah, I mean, I think Charlie made. It might be Charlie made the point. Actually, it was you, Dan, saying it was inevitable that it was going to happen sooner or later because we've had such a great run in the FA Cup. I, for one, am gutted because I love going to Wembley for FA Cup final day. It is
I know,
without.
Wembley.
It's my favourite thing.
The second only to go to the Blackburn.
Anyway,
afterwards, we've won
hey,
it.
look, my brilliant segue. We might have a chance of going to Wembley from tomorrow night, and we're going to be talking all
Yay!
about it after the break. Get in there!